So that experiment did not work at all. Now the Jets are down to only 12 quarterbacks on the roster instead of 13, I believe, Eric. But
hey, just three.
your Penn State guy now gone. What were your thoughts when you saw your boy Hackenberg now an Oakland Raider?
I honestly wasn't surprised at all. I mean, they had just a few weeks ago, they had 5 quarterbacks on the roster. Bryce Petty was released. That unfortunately was a pick that I was highly supportive of a couple years back, and it just didn't turn out well. Same thing with Hackenberg. I'm a Penn State guy. Central Pennsylvania is my home. The Nittany Lions have been who I rooted for in college football for many, many years, decades actually. So Christian Hackenberg, I always wanted to see him succeed when the Jets took him. I thought, who knows, maybe they can experiment and make a Penn State quarterback a successful NFL quarterback. It's just not meant to be. I don't think he'll actually ever be a starting NFL quarterback. But the Jets, they got to a crossroads. Bryce Petty had to go. Hackenberg had to go. They still have 3 quarterbacks on that roster. McCown, Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, let's not forget that a couple years ago, Teddy Bridgewater was supposed to be a great quarterback and then had a very, very unfortunate injury. And now, of course, Sam Darnold. So the Jets, I feel like, have obviously the starter that they had last year who got them more wins than we thought they'd have. McCown did a great job. He deserves to be there. Bridgewater is not someone you're just going to release to the streets because he's got value in the NFL. I mean, I think he could still be a legitimate backup or potentially even starter for some teams, depending on what he has left in the tank after that gruesome knee injury. And we all know that Sam Darnold's the future of this team. It just possibly could come down to this year. Darnold might be the starter come week 1 of the NFL season. We don't know. But Hackenberg just didn't have a place on that roster anymore.
No, the Jets, they had to sort of make amends for their sins this year. They had to pay the price to move up to number 3. It worked out that they got Darnold. I think he's definitely going to be starting for them. It'll just be the fact of how he comes through, actual training camp. OTAs are a lot different, even though the reports are he looks good. When they get into training camp, if he starts to struggle, I would think that they would want to hurt his confidence. And certainly, again, they're not a great roster. You don't want to go out there and get him hurt. You've got a nice guy to bridge him over in Josh McCown. Johnny Manziel talked about how Josh McCown really taught him how to be a pro and how to look at things, even though it was probably too late for him, but it made a big difference for him to get McCown into that quarterback room. I think he'll do the same thing for Sam Darnold. He'll really help make his transition to a starter something to be a positive and to really get him off on the good foot. But again, there was just no room for Hackenberg. And the fact that they could get anything for him was probably a blessing, even if it's a 7th round conditional pick. But yeah, in terms of starting, I don't see how that's going to happen. He's going to Oakland. Unless Derek Carr gets hurt, he's not going to start there if he stays there for any period of time. And it doesn't even look like he's got the talent to get on the field as maybe a backup at this point. So, the Jets have to wash their hands of that. They made a mistake, wasted a 2nd round pick. But hey, at least you got your quarterback of your future now. That'll do it for Talkworthy, but we do have one last topic to talk about. We teased our listeners last week. Right before you went to Rochester this weekend, we had a 4-man scramble, our first one of the year. You, myself, my brother, my dad, we have teamed up over the last couple of years, and we finally sort of put it all together at the tournament. We didn't break anyone's window at a house. We didn't lose any clubs or throw it in the water. We actually finished 2nd in this tournament, a legit 2nd. Got ourselves some Dick's gift cards so we can freshen up our golf gear, get some new TaylorMade equipment, as my brother's already decided to go out and buy the new M4 TaylorMade driver after hitting yours. He actually got a free golf tournament on my dad and his company and turns around and blows all his money on a new M4 because he saw how you were cranking that sucker this weekend. So I think we're off to a good start. I know we got maybe 1 or 2 more tournaments going up. Maybe we can get us a victory.
Yeah, I think we can. Looking at the schedule ahead, it was a good start to the year. I think we all played well. I think we actually made a lot more putts than we normally do, so it was a good time. And yeah, I apologize, Josh. Actually, I should probably apologize to your wife because, yeah, you saw me cranking that driver out there 300 right down the center. Even drove a green on a par 4, setting us up for an eagle attempt on a par 4. And what do you know? Josh goes out 2 days later on Monday and spends all those gift cards and spends all that money on the M4. But I've given TaylorMade a lot of props on social media, and they never really respond. So I guess they're just too popular for us. I love the TaylorMade brand of woods, the M4, the M2, the M1 is what I had prior to the M4. they are a great product. It's no wonder that Dustin Johnson and Jason Day and all these guys who are great on the tour right now are playing TaylorMade M4 clubs, M3 clubs now. The secret is out. Those clubs are bombs. So if you need a new driver, go out, consider the M3 or the M4, swing it, put it in your bag. I think you'll like it. It works for us, but Justin, a second place finish and really a good second place finish. I was super happy with that, but let's look to improve on that in the weekends ahead.
I was going to say, man, you give TaylorMade a lot of airtime on this show. I was starting to think maybe you had like a personal service deal with them that you were trying to cut me out of. Hell, the only thing on this show you talk about more is LeBron.
No, I wish I did have a personal service contract with them. I was on staff with Titleist back in 2003, 2004 when I was in the PGA of America as a club professional. When I played pro events down in South Central Florida, I had all of my clubs custom made for me by Titleist. They even ship me several dozen Pro V1s every month, a fresh box of golf gloves every month. I have one of those nice pro bags with my name sewn on the front. I had the whole thing from Titleist, and I actually still use those Titleist irons because they are my forged blade pro irons that I've always loved. But as far as the woods go, no one lately has been able to keep up with TaylorMade. They are phenomenal. So it's still my forged blades irons from Titleist, and then all new technology with the M4s. And yeah, hopefully TaylorMade will one day respond. But let's see if TaylorMade can give us some love. I don't know. We'll see. That's going to do it for this episode of Talk Back. Thanks for listening. We hope you have a great week. Thank you for listening to this episode of Talk Back. Staying current on sports is our number one goal, so we drop a new episode each Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice. For more info about the show, to meet the hosts, or to partner with us on future episodes, please visit TalkbackFanTalk.com. We really enjoy hearing your take on the world of sports, even when you disagree. After all, this show is dedicated to you, the fans. So get direct access to us on Twitter using @TalkbackJustin and @TalkbackEric. Check out our corporate feed on Twitter and Instagram using the handle @TalkbackFanTalk. We hope you have a great week. We'll talk back at you next time.